5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 412 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I'm your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. It's officially hump day as we get to the halfway point of our week, guys. That means one day closer to Thursday night football. I'm looking at the line here, and what do you think? The Atlanta Falcons, can they cover the number? Tampa Bay opened -5.5 for tomorrow night. The line's down to 4.5. Who knows? Maybe it creeps back up to 5 or gets down to 4, kind of in that no man's land. But I was looking at the bet splits for this game, and it's kind of interesting because if you look at the current prices and the current odds, I should say, Tampa Bay getting 75% of tickets at DraftKings, yet the line is moving toward Atlanta. Atlanta would be a divisional dog, contrarian dog, so we'll see. I'm thinking maybe Atlanta in the points for tomorrow, but stay tuned for a full breakdown on tomorrow's Thursday Night Football podcast. And remember, also, we will have our Rhythm Rundown every Thursday night, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time, myself and my buddy, Cade Harper. But with that being said, guys, for today, I have a 3-pack of college basketball sweats for you, all very short money line favorites here. So see if we can get 2 out of 3, eke out a winning day. And I also have a little bit of an announcement here, because with the success, and shout out to my guy Manny Davison, but the success of the early, or my first inaugural Appelbaum NFL Survivor Pool with Splash Sports. It was a $25 entry fee. My guy Manny won it this week, was the last man standing, and he got, I think, $3,800, so not too bad. But I'm saying to myself, you know what? We got to do another Survivor. So I talked to my buddy James Santor and my buddy Daniel Childs, who run Splash Sports, and I said, hey, can we do a NFL playoffs Survivor Pool? And they said, damn right we can. So I actually just tweeted it out at Josh_insights. This will be a lot of fun. You're available to sign up right now. You can do up to 7 entries. It'll be $25, just like the entry fee for the first one. You can win up to $5,625. You can have as many as 7 entries. And I know because it's the playoffs here, it's going to be a shorter, obviously a shorter length of time. But you're going to have to pick who wins each week. And I think there are maybe the wild card round. You have to pick 2 teams. I don't have the playoff picture obviously yet. But this will be a lot of fun because you got to think of it this way. Who you're going to pick to win the Super Bowl, you're going to have to wait for the end. So, for example, like if you like the LA Rams, they're the favorite right now to win the Super Bowl. You don't want to use them in the divisional round. You want to wait to use them for the final round. So it'll be a little bit different in terms of strategy, but should be a lot of fun. So I would love for you guys all to join the Appelbaum NFL Playoff Survivor contest with Splash Sports. Again, it's live. It went live today. You can go to my Twitter page at Josh_insights, and you'll see a tweet giving you the link. I'll also tweet it out quite a bit between now. We're basically a month away from the playoffs, which is crazy. But also, I will put the link in the bio description of the pod. So if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, whatever platform you're at, when it gives you the breakdown and the description of each podcast, so it'll say something like, hey, in episode 412, Josh dishes out yada, 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 3-pack of college plays. Scroll down, you'll get the link there to enter the Survivor Pool. So just wanted to mention that, and going to run another contest, which should be fun. Now, looking back toward last night, we kept the good vibes going, baby. 3rd straight winning day, 4-1, a big fat 4-1, plus 2.26 units. Really swept the board in college hoops, which was great. We had McNeese State coming through. That was a nip and tuck until the very end. They won by 2 points. So this is why we always talk about money lining short favorites, because McNeese was around -1.5, -2. They got as high as 2.5. You lay the 2, you pushed. You laid the 2.5, you lost. So that's why we always like to money line short favorites, just to protect yourself on the off chance of something like that happening. Bucknell came through huge. They were a team that was 2-9, but their opponent there was even worse. So it was nice to see Bucknell beat up on Ryder. And then Howard. Howard was awesome because Howard was a dog, but we said, hey, man, they're really, really sharp, because you looked at Howard, the Bison, by the way. They ended up opening as high as I want to say they were I think like a 4-point dog. got all the way down to 2.5 2. I got what I felt was like a bad 2 because some shops crept back up to around 2.5 or 3, but ended up closing around 2.5. So I guess it wasn't too much off the opener, but they won that game outright. So that was awesome to see. So a 3-0 clean sweep. Mwah, you love to see it. And then split our NBA player props. Mikal Bridges did go over 22.5 PRA. He landed on 24, and it was mop-up duty. And I was like, ooh, don't pull him because the Knicks were up big. But he stayed in the game late and had a layup there to cash that over, which is awesome. And really probably should have swept the board overall. Again, I'll never complain about a 4-1, 2.26 unit night. But Anthony Black, we got some CLV there because bet the over 22.5 PRA with him. And he landed on 20, came up short. But he actually had CLV because if you noticed, he was announced in the starting lineup. And he actually closed at 25.5 PRA. So we really nailed that, but came up a little short there. He had multiple chances. I think he shot like 5 of 15 from the field. So he had a bunch of assists, rebounds, but came up just short there. So Black over 22.5 PRA lost, but hit Bridges, Howard, Bucknell, McNeese. Nice little 4-1. So let's see if we can reinvest it into tonight. Hopefully post another winning day. So with that being said, let's talk some college hoops. There's a big slate tonight, around 30 games overall, and I got plays on 3 games that I'm excited to share with you for tonight. So first one on the board, let's talk Western Kentucky and Marshall. This is a 7 p.m. game tonight, game 649, 650. Setting the stage for this one, Western Kentucky comes in 6-2. They've won 2 in a row, just beat Evansville 80-79. Didn't cover, though, as a 12.5 point home favorite. Meanwhile, Marshall, 5-4. But they actually started 5-1. They've lost 3 in a row. They came up short against Ohio, 88-81. Didn't cover as a 3.5 point road dog. So what are you seeing across the market here? Well, this game opened at basically a pick'em, and some shops even opened Western Kentucky as a short favorite here, like Western Kentucky -1.5. Regardless of the opener, though, this line is moved toward Marshall, the Thundering Herd. They've gone from a pick or even a dog to fave +1.5 to now -1.5. So again, good sharp steam hitting Marshall, causing that line to move in their favor. You look at the splits on Marshall, they look pretty good at DK. 47% of spread bets, 65% of spread dollars. So good low bets, higher dollar split, and technically reverse line movement, dog to fave. Because again, you're only getting 47% bets, but 65% dollars. Less than half the tickets, but the line flipped in their favor. Tells me smart money has hit Marshall. Now, Marshall is a great buy low opportunity play because, again, Western Kentucky has a better record and they've won 2 in a row. Marshall has a worse record and they've lost 3 in a row. So you would think, hey, probably line moves toward Western Kentucky. No, it's going toward the team that struggled, maybe the more desperate team at home. So it's a good buy low, sell high. Now, KenPom does have Marshall winning, but only by 1 point. So I don't want to lay a 1.5, have them win by 1, and we lose our bet. Again, we saw the importance of McNeese State last night, money lining a short favorite instead of laying the points. And it's really not a bad price. Marshall, you can get around -120, -125 just to win the game. And if you look at DK, 50% money line bets, 63% money line dollars. So further evidence of that respected smart money hitting Marshall to win this game. And Marshall does have some stat advantages. A lot of them are offensively. They have the better effective field goal percentage, 55% versus 49%. They shoot the 3 better, 36% versus 31%. And this could be huge in a close game. Free throw shooting. They're shooting 77% from the charity stripe versus 73% for Western Kentucky. So it was basically a pick'em game or a short Western Kentucky, -1.5 on the road, but it's flipped now to Marshall, -1.5 at home. Good bet split, desperate, low bets, higher dollars, line move, buy low, sell high. KenPom's got them by 1 with all these offensive advantages. So let's protect ourselves. Go money line here around -120, -125. And oh, by the way, popped open Juice Reel, noticed a 17% sharp mush edge on Marshall. So I like the fact that wise guys and wise gals like you guys out there are also playing Marshall to win this game. So first bet on the board for me, Marshall, around -120, -125 on the money line. Next one for you, 9 o'clock game. This should be a good one. Wisconsin and Nebraska. One of the most heavily bet games of the night. I think actually it is the most heavily bet game of the night. And it should be a great matchup. 9 o'clock tip-off. We have Wisconsin coming in 7-2. They've won 2 straight. Just beat up on Marquette 96-76. Easily covered as an 11.5 point home favorite. But have you noticed how good Nebraska is to start this year? Knock on wood, but they're 9-0, ranked 23rd in the country, undefeated, just beat Creighton 71-50, covered as a 5.5-point home favorite. So what have we seen across the board here? Well, I guess the theme of the night is dog to fave, because we open this game with Wisconsin, listed as a very short 1.5-point road favorite. Some books even open Wisconsin, I want to say -2. But we've seen a complete flip in favor of Nebraska. So the Cornhuskers have gone from +1.5 now to -2, or even -2.5 across the board. And when I wrote about this game for VSiN.com earlier today, they were at -1.5. Now, again, I'm seeing 2, even 2.5. So continued movement, dog to fave in favor of Nebraska. Tells me smart money has hit the Cornhuskers here pretty hard. I noticed that circa, really sharp bet split. Nebraska, 67% of spread bets, but 95% of spread dollars. A really good low bets, higher dollar split, telling us those bigger sharp bettors out in Vegas in the desert are also playing Nebraska. Now, Ken Palm does have Nebraska winning by 1 point, so you guys know where I'm going here. I'm going money line. I got money line Nebraska -125 at the score. Some shops a little higher, around -135 now at this point. But again, a relatively short money line price. Some angles here. I have a bunch of system matches on Nebraska. So if you are a short favorite, -4 or less, and you have at least a 0.5 point of line movement in your direction, those teams are 73-46 straight up this year, 61% with a 3.5% ROI. And then if you look at just all favorites in general, with at least 2 points of line movement in their favor, they're 185-43 straight up this year. That's 81% with a 2% ROI. Nebraska does have the better effective field goal percentage, 57% versus 54%. Better defensive efficiency, 37th in the country versus 44th. And they hold their opponents to a better effective field goal percentage. They're holding their opponents to 46% versus 51% for Wisconsin. So we have a dog to fave line move on Nebraska. Great bet split out at circa. Ken Palm's got them winning the game, so let's protect ourselves and go on the money line here. And oh, by the way, our friends at Juice Reel, 29% sharp mush edge in favor of Nebraska. So we're with the pros who also like the Cornhuskers here tonight. So let's shuck some corn. Let's go Nebraska. Win the damn game. Again, you can get them around -135 now. Last bet of the night, late night sweat, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Fresno State visiting Cal State Northridge. Now, Fresno State comes in 6-4 on the year, but they started 6-2. They've lost 2 in a row, just got beat up by Arkansas 82-58. Didn't cover as a 19.5-point road dog. Meanwhile, Cal State Northridge 4-5 on the year. They've also struggled a bit. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Just lost to Cal Irvine 85-71. Didn't cover as a 7.5-point road dog. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened Cal State Northridge around a 2-point favorite at home. And the public doesn't really know what to do. They're basically 50-50 down the middle. Cal State Northridge is at home, but Fresno State's got the slightly better record. But yet both teams have struggled recently, so public doesn't really know what to do here. So what do we always talk about? 50-50, tickets down the middle. You would expect no line movement whatsoever because theoretically, balanced action, tickets are relatively even. No need for the odds makers to move the number one way or the other. However, 50-50 and yet you see a line move, that's important to me because it tells me that even though the public doesn't know what to do, sharps have taken a position and moved that number. And it looks like they've taken a position on Fresno State because this game opened Cal State Northridge -2. We've now flipped to Fresno State -1.5. So another dog to fave line move. Again, that's really the theme of the day, I guess. Telling us smart money has pushed that and flipped that number toward the Bulldogs. Now, Ken Palm has Fresno winning by 2 points. So you might say, hey, just lay the 1.5. Again, it's a very short number here. I got Fresno money line -115. You can get them as low as -120, -125. But also Ken Palm does have Fresno ranked higher, 166th in the country versus 251st for Cal State Northridge. Money line splits look pretty good at DK, 58% of bets, 67% of dollars on Fresno. And also Fresno, bunch of advantages here, better offensive efficiency, 230th in the country versus 247th for Northridge. Better defensive efficiency, big advantage here, 135th versus 241st. Better effective field goal percentage, 51% versus 47%. And they do a better job of forcing turnovers on defense. Fresno actually ranks 37th best in the country at forcing turnovers. Northridge ranks 300th. So a lot of stat advantages. Dog to fave line move, 50-50, sharp dog to fave move in particular. Ken Palm's got him by 2. We're going to protect ourselves, just win the damn game. So I got Fresno minus 115 on the money line. Again, some books minus 120, minus 125. And oh, by the way, I like getting another juice reel sharp mush edge, but a 20% sharp mush edge on Fresno from our friends at Juice Reel, meaning 20% more of the sharper winning bettors who have synced up their books and their results have been tracked. Those winning bettors are also leaning Fresno. So we got Fresno money line, again, around minus 115, minus 120. So Marshall, Nebraska, Fresno. We got to scratch and claw and get 2 out of 3. Go 2-1, keep our winning streak going. That is the goal. So that about does it for episode 412 of the ASG pod on a big hump day here, halfway through our week. Of course, this is the part of the pod where we wrap things up. And I always want to start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena every single day with me, guys, through the ups and the downs, the hot streaks, the cold streaks, the good days, the bad days. You know, betting in a way is kind of like life. Sometimes everything goes your way and you're like, man, I'm riding high. Sometimes, no matter what you do, things don't go your way. And that's, just the way it goes. I guess is a bad analogy, but because I work from home, but hey, you got to go to work. I don't know. Your shower's flooded. You spill coffee on yourself. You're late for work. Whatever. Things don't go your way, or everything goes your way. But still, we show up every day and try to find the sharpest bets on the board using our head, not our heart. So that means a lot to me. So if you do enjoy the pod, you want to help me grow this podcast, please, would you recommend it to a friend? Would you retweet it when I tweet it out? Would you give it a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes? Click the follow button. All easy, simple ways to support the pod. So thank you very much. Next, if you want to learn more about data-driven betting and you maybe want to support the pod, and more importantly, it's the holiday season and you need to figure out what to get a gift for your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your dad, your son, your nephew. Well, you know what you should do? You should make it easy on yourself. Get them something that they can turn, $1 into hopefully $100. Go buy one of my books. If you'd like to get my new book, it's called the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook. If you get it directly from Triumph Books website and use the promo code CHEERS2025, it'll be 50% off. So it's usually $24. It would then only be $12, and it makes a great stocking stuffer. You can also get it on Amazon, and you can get my first book on Amazon as well, The Everything Guide to Sports Betting. So again, if you want to learn more, give it as a gift to a colleague or a friend, or a stocking stuffer, a Christmas, Hanukkah gift. I think it would be pretty good, because I'd rather get that book than a collared shirt or something like that. But anyway, guys, grab one or both, bring them to the sports book. I'll sign them for you. I'll buy you a beer or a ginger ale, and we'll sweat some college hoops games together tonight. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps. Rhythm, awesome for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Reminder, we do have our Rhythm Rundown live show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on Twitter. Hope to see you guys there. You can always, again, follow at Josh_Insights, my Twitter account, or X, I guess I should say, but it'll always be Twitter to me. And then also, download Juice Reel. Juice Reel's got a ton of great features. First off, if you'd like to support the pod and tip your podcast hosts, let me know you appreciate the pod. I give you some good insights. Hey, give me a tip. You can do it in the form of signing up to get those all systems go best bet picks right from Juice Reel. It costs $4.99 a week, so a $5 bill to support the pod and get plays every single day. And you also get the Robo Jackson best bet picks, the Sharp Mush indicators, the arbitrage plays, the shop for the best line futures, all when you download Juice Reel. So download Rhythm, download Juice Reel, give them, again, a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, do you have a live odds page? Well, if you don't have one, you need one. Live odds page is so important for a sports bettor because you got to be able to track the market in real time. You got to know all the games available to you that day. Live scoring once the game starts. Live in-game wagering odds that update after every possession, every play. More importantly, tracking line movement, getting an open column that never changes, stays static. To the right are all the current odds. You can immediately see which direction the line is moved. You can click the odds to pull up the full line history. You can identify steam when odds get lit up in red and then green and then yellow. But really, it's just a great feature that you need. And really, to me, if you don't have a live odds page, it's really difficult to have your finger on the pulse and make smart bets. So if you'd like to give Odds Logic a shot, they're the best live odds page around. 7-day free trial, 50% off your first month. Just go to oddslogic.com/Josh123. Next, have you downloaded and signed up for Novig yet? Novig is a betting exchange, not a sports book. So as a result, you're getting way better juice prices. So instead of paying minus 115, minus 120 to DraftKings or FanDuel or BetMGM or Fanatics or yada, 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 you know what you can do? You can get minus 105, plus 102, minus 103 from Novig. Because instead of, again, going up against the house, you're going up against other bettors. And also, when you do well and you're hot and you're winning, you're not going to get limited or booted. So download Novig, and when you fund your account, there should be a little promo code. When you deposit your money, make sure you put in Josh123, and they'll tack on another $25 to your account. So that about does it for episode 412 of the ASG Pod on a big Wednesday here, guys. As always, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, at the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash, in my neck of the woods on the border of Massachusetts and New Hampshire, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays, jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa. You're going to walk up to me, and you're going to show me a Howard ticket, a Bucknell ticket, a McNeese State money lining a short favorite ticket, a Mikal Bridges over PRA ticket. Guess what? First one's on me, next one's on you. We'll post about the book. Sweat Sharp Contrarian plays all night long. So as always, guys, coming off a 4-1 or a 1-4, a 5-0 or an 0-5, a 2-3 or a 3-2, a great night, a terrible night, a mediocre night, a great week, a terrible week, an in-between week. Again, we can never get too high or too low. When things are going good, you don't want to be cocky and start to get loose with your plays and start to bet more. Also, when things are not going your way, you don't want to quit. You don't want to double down. You don't want to say screw it and let me just bet every game on the board and chase. No. We got to stay even-keeled. We got to stay disciplined. We got to bet the same on every game, flat betting, and we got to find those system matches. Be disciplined with our bankroll and bet with our head and not our heart by finding the games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Wednesday night, everybody. Let's see if we can get some winners on the college hoops hardwood here tonight. And I'll be right back at it for a big Thirsty Thursday edition. That'll be episode 413 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody. And reminder, go sign up for the NFL Survivor Pool. You can get that tweet right from my account at Josh_insights or in the link in the bio description of the pod. But have a great night, everybody, and enjoy the college hoop sweats. Good luck.